Yeah. All those haters, all the haters want to hate.
They
So-
just want me to come in and breastfeed my baby while we have this.
You know what? There was far fewer breastfeeding comments than I thought. What is the thought process of having more kids after the first? There's been there's a couple people who are like, hey, we have one and we're trying not to decide, but like, what is the thinking of then going into two? And then there's women who are like, and there's a couple dudes who are like, I have no idea how you would consider another.
Another job.
Yeah, after the difficulty of one. And for me, before we go into that, like, I think some of my thoughts are just like, some of them are so still like in the shite that it's hard to get any perspective. You know, like they just had one kid and they're like at a year and they're just coming up for air and they're like, why would we go back to that? You know? Whereas I think, I mean, when did we start considering actually not even a sec? We knew we were gonna have more than one, right?
Yeah. I mean,
So this is actually less relevant to that one.
I don't even think there was an option to not have another one.
Right. So I guess for you and I, from 1 to 2 was like, we're doing this because we don't,
Or neither of us was one.
yeah, neither of us were only children.
So we grew up with playmates.
Right. And we think that, like,
Just say it. Just say it.
with one kid, it's the center of the universe. And so
Weird.
it's really difficult to not make it so everything is about them. So
Yeah.
as life goes on, they're going to have to later in life deal with the struggles of realizing they're not the center of the universe. And not to say that multiple kids don't do that, but I'd say more often than not, it's more difficult. I would say it's more difficult to raise a single child.
Oh my goodness. I can't even imagine raising one kid.
I mean, that being said, I can't say that because we've had
I've
it.
never done it.
We've never done it, but it's still like when I see I would say it's hard. But
Yeah, I would say so.
so I guess that for us, it was never a question we weren't going to do 2. So
Right.
that's why we went from 1 to 2. So I guess the real question is then when we're contemplating the ones that were potentially not going to exist, 3 and 4, what was that? Like, what were we doing? Like, how did that come about? Is like, we've got 2. It's real hard. Let's try this.
Well, I didn't think that. You thought that. You
Thought
thought
what?
2 was real hard. I didn't think 2 was real hard.
You thought 2 was easier than 1.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah, because we were in a better place.
You and I.
Mm-hmm. With 2 than we were with 1.
What made us in a better place? Just growing up.
But yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Right. So we learned how to communicate better and we kind of navigated the
Yeah.
to 1. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
And then also, during the second one, we started our own business. So we were both more at home.
Mm-hmm.
And so that opened up other possibilities of me not being with the kids like 100% of the time, all the time.
Right. Right. Because I can be there a bit more.
Yeah.
So that's why my life was more difficult with 2. I was
No, I think it was the initial 2 for you that was hard. You were still going away to work every day.
Right. Yeah. I also think it was what I've expressed many times was just like I thought I had a control over 1. Like I thought I knew what was going on. And then we had 2 was so different. And the second one was so different. And all the little tips and tricks and how I rocked him and all that stuff didn't work. So I was like, oh, cool. So, and then you had the other baby. And so it was like, that for me is what made 2 so hard.
Right.
So I thought I knew what I was doing. I thought I had a handle on it. I thought I had suffered enough. I had not.
That was a good time.
I had not suffered enough, clearly. Okay. So, well, then from 2 to 3, you're saying you felt in a better place. But what were the conversations that we had around that?
I don't even know. I can't remember. I don't even, like, were we just like, 3 would be cool. I don't think it wasn't made lightly.
Not at all.
think-
No. Well, we were traveling at the time.
we'd made the decision to have another one, just not to like that was when we decided to start trying to have another one. But we'd made the decision that we would have another one before then. But I just don't know. I just don't remember when, or maybe we didn't. Maybe we decided on that travel trip.
I think we decided on the travel trip. Like
But we got pregnant on that travel trip.
we did. So we decided and then got pregnant
Like,
and
why not?
I went for it. I'm pretty sure we did that.
Mm.
I could be wrong. But I was of the mindset that it was like, we were sitting and we were like, okay, we've done this too, and we're starting to get a grip on it to some degree. And I don't know, I was finding a lot of joy in little things occasionally, like as we were, especially, it might have been the trip. It was like watching the kids experience the trip and like walk around different countries and stuff. It was just like, wow, this is cool. Like this.
I also think we were together all the time.
But-
When there's two people and two kids, it's much easier.
I would imagine.
But all that to say is that I know that why we had a fourth.
Okay, well, so I guess look where we didn't really
Yeah,
know why we had
Yeah,
third.
and that's not helpful to anybody.
No, well, I mean,
I think it was just we were in a better place in our relationship, and that we had the bandwidth. I think the business we had was doing okay. We didn't feel we weren't under any strain. We were in a good place.
Right. Right. Yeah.
There was no reason not to, I think.
Right. Yeah. I think lifestyle wise, we had a lot going for us.
Yeah.
And like you said, we were in a good place. So it was like,
Mm-hmm.
we're getting a lot of reward from this. Let's have a third.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're not big overthinkers,
Nope.
too.
Which is some people online will disagree with.
Well, that's some things. Like, I think things that we're going to like take action on,
Right.
I think we both think deeply about our relationships and how we react to things and how we deal with our children
Right.
and how we're intentional. But
I defined overthinking as thinking really hard about something but not taking action.
yes,
So it's the thinking so much but doing nothing.
right.
So that to me is overthinking. I think if you think a lot but do stuff, it's different because then you're just thinking.
Right. I guess.
That to me was it. It was like, that's the difference. It's like
Yeah.
overthinking is thinking so hard that you talk yourself or you think your way out of doing
Yeah.
anything.
Yeah.
Whereas,
Yeah. I don't feel like we do that.
no, I don't think so.
So with Rue, I think it was a similar thing, is that,
Rue being number 4.
that we,
You said you knew why.
well, we kept coming to like, why do we want to go through this baby thing again? Because remember, we'd already had 2 miscarries, and so now Fawkes was already 4. So there's going to be a 4-year gap between the two of them.
Oh, 2 miscarries after fall.
Yeah. So sorry. Yeah, I'm like jumping ahead. Like, why did we continue to keep
Right.
trying for number 4? And I think we sort of changed our mind each time. We were like, do we want to? And then we're like, no, we want to because this is why we want to. And we were thinking long term. We were like, I think a lot of the time what happens, like those people who like, well, how can you do it again?
Yeah.
Because they're so in the moment and they're so stuck in what's happening right then and there in those like baby to toddler years that they can't think they think that it's going to last forever.
Right.
But it doesn't. It lasts such a short time, and we'd already experienced that for 3 children, so we know that it lasts a short time, and then they get out of it, and then they're like kind of cool little people.
Right.
It's still hard, but
Yeah.
so we know that it's going to end. It's like the plane ride always ends. People are like, how do you travel with kids? And I'm, well, it's a plane ride always ends.
Right.
Like there's always an end to it. It's not going to end. It's not going to last forever. But so I think we were thinking more long term. It's like I want to have adult kids. I want to have as many adult kids as we can handle. Like, because they're adults for longer than they are children.
For sure.
And so I think that's what we kept coming back to. Like, yes, it's hard now, but like, how cool would it be to have 4 adults that we get to spend time with, and maybe they have families of their own, and we get to share that with them.
Yeah.
That was a big driving like force for us to have the 4th, And then the other thing was too, is that our lives are set up to have children here. We have a lot of space.
Mhm.
We homeschool our children, and we're both at home.
Right.
If you had to leave for a job every day and I was here by myself, homeschooling, well, even sending them, I don't think I could do it.
Right.
I don't think it would be, or if we lived in our old house, I don't think it would be,
Right.
I don't think we could have 4 kids.
Right.
Us personally.
You're welcome.
Many people do it.
You're welcome.
For
Yeah.
what?
For working at home and being me. I also think too the how we experienced Fox, like our third, was different than how we experienced the first two.
Mm-hmm.
He was difficult as a kid. Like he was like really loud and he was really like rambunctious, but he was like really cool. Like
He was fun
it was super fun
and he was cute.
and he was cute and it was really easy to enjoy that
Yeah.
just with the lifestyle that we had.
But that's because we were here too, remember? He was a baby when he moved here.
Right.
Oh.
Here being 5 acres in the mountains.
Yeah.
So he can run around like a naked
Yeah.
troll.
He was just constantly dirty and naked. I feel like, and then I wonder now why I'm like, why are we so dirty? And then I'm like, I see photos of him being naked and dirty as a baby.
Constantly.
Um,
Yeah. So I guess it was just like, it was relatively organic, but it wasn't without its like hardships and all the time. It's like each child has been
Yeah.
really difficult.
Yeah.
And then we've had 3 miscarriages.
mm-hmm.
And I think that's the thing that I think about a bit where, we'd had 2 horrific miscarriages between the 3 and the 4 between Fox and Rue. But we were like, let's keep trying.
Well, this was going to be our last try.
This was going to be our last try.
We had made that decision.
Right.
We were like, my body can't go through this again.
Yeah.
So that was going to be the last one. But I knew that it would work.
Right. You did?
I knew.
You knew. Well, okay, good. Yeah. Great. I'm glad you knew because I did. One of us needed to. All right. Well, I think that there's some information there. It's not a, I don't think I think time between kids, like a lot of people have these kids really close together. Like we've had our kids 3-4 years apart.
Yeah, I think that's worked great for us.
It's worked great.
I think a lot of people have them close and it works well for them too.
For sure. I think that's possible. I think it'd be really hard though. Like, cause those beginning years are so difficult, even like for the first few, and the tantrums and the crazy stuff that happen in those, to also have an infant seems like it would be that there were quite the curveball under there.
Well, it's also just like the when you have the 2 and they're still little, it's that weird like downtime as an adult where you can't do anything yourself, but you can't just leave them, and they don't play with each other, and so you're like, it's like you have so much to do, but at the same time you're like really bored. You're like, I have so much to do, but I can't do it, so I just have to accept that I'm not going to get anything done. But I also can't sit here and play like blocks with a 3-year-old.
It's great. It's like 8 hours. I got this.
And I feel like you don't know until you get to the stage where your kids can play together, and you can engage with them on a different level.
Right.
That it does get much easier. It's not easy, but it's definitely easier than those like early stages.
For sure.
But
you won't know it together.
What?
But you won't know
You
it
don't.
together.
The joys of parenting.
Oh,
You have to go through every stage, and
yeah. I think continuing to work on our relationship has been one of the foundations of it. It's like we're pretty good relative to many. Not to say that we don't hate each other most of the time. All right. That's enough. High five.